Okay, and recording is on. All right, well, welcome everyone. I'm Mayor Val Vandenbroek, and I'd like to call the July 26, 2021 regular council meeting to order and begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional unceded territory of the Katzie, Kwantlen, Maspee, and Semiahmoo First Nations. So I'll do some introductions before I go any further. With me tonight, or this afternoon, I have Councillor Paul Albrecht, Councillor Terry James, Councillor Gail Martin, Councillor Nathan Bahal, Councillor Rudy Sturteboom, and Councillor Rosemary Wallace. And for staff, we have Francis Chung, our Chief Administrative Officer, Darren Light, our Director of Corporate Services, Carl Johansson, our Director of Development Services, Rick Baumhoff, our Director of Engineering, Parks and Environment, Kim Hilton, our Director of Recreation, Culture and Community Services, Paula Cusack, our Deputy Corporate Officer. And for any members of the public who are in attendance to watch these proceedings, welcome. And just a reminder to keep your mics and your cameras turned off while you are in attendance, please, and thank you. So starting off, first off, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to City Hall today for the Pride flag raising, which will be at City Hall for the next week to celebrate Pride Month in Vancouver. So we have the adoption of the July 26, 2021 regular agenda. So before we consider the adoption of the agenda, are there any changes or additions to the agenda? Seeing none, motion that the July 26, almost said June 2021 agenda be adopted as circulated. Need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Sturteboom, seconder. Councillor James, all those in favor, any opposed, that carries. Regular meeting minutes from July 12th, 2021, that the minutes of the regular meeting held on July 12th, 2021 be adopted as circulated. Any corrections? Moved by Councillor Sturteboom. Need a seconder, please. Councillor Wallace, all those in favor, any opposed, that carries. Special meeting minutes from July 12th, 2021, that the minutes of the special meeting held on July 12th, 2021 be adopted as circulated. Any corrections? Seeing none, need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Wallace, Councillor Sturteboom, all those in favor, that carries. On to public hearing minutes from July 12, 2021, that the minutes of the public hearing held on July 12, 2021 be adopted as circulated. Any corrections on that? See none, mover and a seconder. I see Councillor Wallace, Councillor Albrecht. All those in favor, any opposed? That carries. All right, and I believe we have a delegation this afternoon. Marcia Timothy. Is Marcia here, Ms. Kuzak?
I believe that may be her showing as a Zoom user. She's just connecting to audio.
Okay, Marcia, is that you?
Yes, thank you.
Hello, you have 5 minutes to present to us, and I'll let you know when I start the timer, and I'll give you a 1 minute warning, okay?
Oh, yes, but I couldn't find the form that I wrote down on all the issues, the homeless. Yeah, so I've written it down there.
Okay, did you want to present today or did you want to come back on another day?
No, I can present.
Okay. Let me just get mine. Okay, go ahead, please. You have 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, first of all, you've heard me before. I live on Park Avenue. I really have been very tired and exhausted with the homeless and different situations. It's first of all, the drugs in the park. There are the regulars that come out from condominiums that smoke their marijuana, and then they meet up in the curve there, and they do their 5 times a day, 4 times a day, and the security guards, they just talk with them. Nobody's got the authority to do anything, and I just think this is a losing battle. Actually, I was so tired, I got upset and I told them off. And, because I said, you're making my home and this area, I don't even want to go. When I come out my condominium at James Court, I don't even want, if I see them sitting there, I don't even want to go. And I've got a community garden plot. And this is, you're wanting families to come here. And, so I appreciate a lot what you've done here, the city. Though some days, some days it's pleasant where the community is enjoying the park. There's a lot that you've done. But I just must say that it's the marijuana, it's being stoned, the alcohol. The alcohol. I don't know why council down here, when this is a hub. And it's going to get worse with the SkyTrain. This is the hub of drugs. Why would council do a pilot project for? I've talked to many people, and it's the alcohol in park. And I walked by the porta potty, and it smelled of urine. And to tell you the truth, this exhausted me so much that I had 3 days of tiredness. I couldn't even talk to people because of me being upset. And then I've been I've been working 3 jobs, a single parent. I've had a difficult home too. Brought up, I've worked with learning disabilities on myself. And so I got a little home here, and I even wanted a realtor. If I was somebody, I went looking at other places, and they're all rentals. And one lady said, "Oh, there was a for sale in a condo over by Bryden with her," and she said, "Oh, you live down there." And so a lot of people wouldn't even want to come here. We want to make it better. So how on earth, with the drug problem as it is, then I go out in my wheelchair the other day at Inns. There was a and McBurney Lane hypodermic needle on where the cafe, and we should not have drinking allowed here. If this goes through, I can't even go to the park anymore. If this goes through with drinking in the park, it is not helping the community. It's not helping. It's only the ones that drink to excess that like that, So I'm just saying that if we want more families, and I don't know nobody can do anything, and it's the staff that are hired. Even they just want to talk. I've got people that live in James Court that bought here, and they just meet up 5 times a day if they've got nothing else better to do, and I don't know. It's just exhausting for me.
You're at the 1 minute mark. Just so you know, you have 1 minute left.
Yeah, okay. I think I've covered it. And we should have a bylaw for carts. No shopping carts allowed at parks. It is so by the Douglas Recreation. I mean, you got to scour the grounds for needles and stuff, and on this park is a drug park. I said I'm going to call it the drug park, and I'm not going to enforce. I'm not going to talk to people that it's a good area. It's very for a lot of the time, most of the time, it is not good. But then there are the times that the good people are around, and I don't have to look at these people. And the security guards, they just sit on the edge and they talk with people because they can't do anything. And the police don't even want to do anything. They don't. If it's just about smoking and you got a sign there saying non-smoking, and now you're allowing drinking, another drug that's bad. And that's about it.
That's 5 minutes. So could you just do a quick sentence to wrap it up, please?
Well, on the positive note, I do appreciate what council has done and what you're doing. The homeless, it's just that I don't want to live here anymore, and I'm going to have to go to other areas if we don't have more places for these people. What can you do? We're going to be. I hate to be like Surrey Central Station. It's filthy, cigarette butts. We need staffing for this. If you know, I mean, I've done volunteer work to clean up.
Yes,
myself.
and I know you have, and we appreciate you coming to council today and voicing your concerns. Does anybody have any comments that you'd like to share with Ms. Timothy or? Okay. Thank you for coming and presenting today. I really appreciate it. Councillor Stortaboom.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I appreciate Mrs. Timothy's situation. I recognize the frustration that she is experiencing. I have the same kind of feelings about the neighborhood where I live. And I think that this is the kind of situation that a lot of people are experiencing, not just here in Langley City, but throughout Metro Vancouver. I wish City Council could do more about it. But I gotta say that, you know, as far as the homeless situation goes, housing is not our mandate. That's a provincial mandate. We have to count on our provincial partners to establish a regional response to homelessness. And I sympathize with the situation. It is frustrating for me to see homelessness in the neighborhood where I live. I feel like my personal security is in jeopardy, even though I've never had a negative experience personally. Maybe it's because I'm a big guy, but I just want to say I appreciate your comments. And I'm glad that our new superintendent is online to hear what you have to say. And I want to thank you for the kind words that you have for City Council, as well as those words that are very challenging. I'm hoping that things will get better, and I wish you well. Please know that we've heard you. We appreciate your situation, and we're doing the best that we can with what we've got. Thank you very much.
I thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Timothy, and I'm sure I will see you in Douglas Park as I normally do. So thank you for coming.
Well, just to say, I'm on the first floor here, and I've had security issues in the parking lot behind me as well. It's just getting worse, and I can't go anywhere. I'm going to have to stay in my home, I guess, and not face these people and tell them off. I'll just, you know,
Please don't. We don't want you doing that. Maybe we can have a discussion offline later or tomorrow, and get you some resources maybe. How does that sound?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
very, very welcome.
So much.
Yes, we will talk soon. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Marcia, take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, coming up next, we have the Rcmp quarterly report. The first report with our new superintendent, Adrian Marsden from the Langley detachment.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship and councillors. Yeah, so I'm just here tonight to present the quarterly report, as you said. So this is actually the report that was prepared from March to June. It's actually before I got here, but so I'll be a bit of a talking head in terms of what it says, but I'll just go through it with you. And a lot of what I'm reporting, I think, is sort of stuff where I've had to sort of interview people in the detachment to find out what's had gone on. Paula had been nice enough to work my PowerPoint for me as I'm working off an iPad here. But so just in terms of the quarterly stats that she's put on the screen for me there, you know, stats are stats, but you know, there has been a bit of an odd year, of course, with COVID, and some of the bigger stats I might, if I was guessing, I'd probably put down to that, with people, particularly in terms of businesses, for instance. So the businesses break and enters this time last year had actually been quite a bit higher. Now they're quite a bit lower. I'd probably put that down to people returning to work and the business actually being occupied. So there's good and bad to that. Of course, with that, you know, robberies have gone up a bit from, so for June, like 2 to 6. So basically because the businesses are now occupied. And similarly with other items, and it's a bit hard to judge the stats just really because of COVID changing the kind of the way things are happening. In terms of like specific investigations that we had going on, so just over to the next slide, the one that was put in for us. So just some things that we have going on that are kind of notable. So our strike force did assist our drug section with a search warrant related to some property crime or lower end drug dealing suspects at a condominium at 20100 block of 54th A Avenue in Langley City. And as a result of that search warrant, they managed to obtain a shotgun, a Ruger, a pellet gun, a semi-automatic weapon, and some other stolen property, body armor, and a variety of other things. There was a variety of drugs also seized, and the occupants were detained during the search, and investigations going on there. Other things happening, not so much following the PowerPoint as well. So as we know, Langley has experienced a number of shootings this year. In the first 2 quarters, we responded to 9 shootings, 2 of which were homicide, as everybody probably knows. Obviously, these are related to a nexus in organized crime in the area. I've actually asked Superintendent Duncan Pound from CFSC, Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit, to do a bit of a presentation for us in October. The Langley Township had asked for something like that, so I thought it'd be appropriate to have him come to you as well. So I'll probably do a bit of a presentation with him to kind of give a overview of what's happening in the Lower Mainland, and then a bit of specific talks about what's happening here in Langley and how we're trying to combat those issues. In relation to that, in June of 2021, our serious crime unit executed 2 search warrants in another jurisdiction related to homicide/shooting files that had occurred here a few months ago. Our members in those executions were able to recover 2 firearms, just over $80,000 in cash, and large quantities of drugs. There was a cocaine, fentanyl, and a variety of other pills seized. Other things that were going on, we did have a number of arsons occurring downtown. These were mostly, when we looked into it, these were mostly dumpster fires. So it really seemed to relate to the homeless trying to keep themselves warm. My members are telling me that when we increased patrols towards the end of June, that these did seem to subside. In relation to the B&Es, break and enters were changed a bit over the last few months. Although there was a decrease in business B&Es, as I said, probably because people are returning to work, there was other types of break and enters that increased. There was a number of break and enters around Willowbrook Mall. We did identify a couple of people to look at for suspects in that, and catalytic converters are a common target for thefts. We also noticed that the other types of break and enters that are occurring are sheds and thefts from construction sites downtown and in the Willoughby area. There's also kind of a lower mainland trend towards cell towers being targeted and damaged. And we're not really sure what the motivation is behind that, but we do have a number of ourselves and some other bodies looking into those. And then just analyzing our stats, we did notice that a number of our repeat offenses and a lot of the calls for our service are related to individuals with no fixed address in the downtown core. So just kind of to the argument that we, it's obviously a problem we have to focus on in terms of getting, people homes and getting them off the street, as we all know. And then just finishing off on the PowerPoint there. So in terms of resourcing, obviously it's been a little tricky time for the Rcmp. They did close our training facility for 9 months and then just open it up in March. Fortunately, now it's back up and running. We have about 2 troops, 2 classes going through a month now, which is about half. But and I think part of that reason is the recruiting also ceased at the same time as the training. So it's going to take a while just to get back up and running. However, it's it should be it's all good news. Hopefully ahead, from where we've been in the past year. So we are actually getting 3 new members that have graduated since April, and we have 5 more expected before the end of the summer. And then just in terms of our detachment operations, again, COVID does seem to be winding down for us anyways, and we're returning to normal operations. Most of our members are back in the office as opposed to working from home or when they could. And I think the operations are getting back to normal. And there's been a few other positive things. The Langley City Community Police Office opened for clients on July the 7th, and which is a good sign that things are returning to normal. I would say that's those are probably the highlights that I have for you today.
Great, thank you so much for that. Councillor James, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Officer in Charge. I have a question about the catalytic converters. Now, I know that they're a heavy-duty theft item because of the rhodium and the platinum I think they have in them, and they're valuable if you're going to some of the metal recyclers. I'm saying this because I know about, I'm going to say 12 or 13 years ago, we worked closely with the metal recyclers in the Langleys. And we almost had a contract together with them, if memory recalls, where they weren't accepting catalytic converters and other things that were clearly stolen. So I'm wondering if maybe this is an opportune time to revisit that and recreate that relationship again, so that maybe the possible theft of these converters goes down significantly. I know they can always go to other communities, but I think it's the convenience that makes them such a hot item.
No, that sounds great. No, I appreciate the input, and that's certainly something I can revisit with my teams. Yeah.
Great, thank you, and thank you, Madam Mayor.
Great, thanks. Councillor Sturdivant.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Superintendent Marsden. Welcome to our community. I appreciate you for who you are and what you do, and I look forward to working with you. I'm thinking, though, that there's a lot of talk in our society, in our culture, in this time around additional training for police officers around social situations to determine not to escalate situations and, create problems for, residents who might be in traumatic situations in relating to the presence of police officers who are called to attend. I was just curious, Superintendent Marsden, if you would be kind enough to advise our members and those that have recently graduated from Depot being trained in the kind of social response that the public has been asking for around police response to traumatic situations. Any comments you may have would be sincerely appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's we have had a lot of our training is sort of online training that we'll get after we graduate from the training academy. There's definitely been a lot of discussion amongst our managers and at our daily briefings in terms of what happened there in Minnesota. So I think that had an impact on policing all over the world. So I think to some degree, yes, we definitely recognize it. I actually went out with the officers on Saturday night, just with the patrol officers to get a sense of how things run. And I have to say that I did my uniform back in the 90s, and our officers honestly have come a long way into how in their patience and in their day-to-day dealings generally, at least that I witnessed on Saturday. I can't name the course off the top of my head, but they have begun introducing courses for us to follow up on that we're required to have done. So I think that is that started. And then I think there's also definitely a movement towards, and I think I've said on other occasions that there's definitely hopefully a movement towards us working closely with Fraser Health and garnering those partnerships and essentially working off their expertise. And then that's kind of how I kind of envision that I hope we could get better as better partnerships with them, and perhaps them teaching us, how to handle the mentally ill better, and to better ourselves.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Marsden. I want you to know I have every respect for you and the members of the Langley Detachment, the RCMP in general. I've been with members to do ride-alongs, and I've witnessed firsthand the professionalism that our members demonstrate to the general public. It's my hope that I can do another ride-along again before too long. Thank you again for your comments. Again, I look forward to working with you. Welcome to our community. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Councillor Pahal, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through the mayor to Superintendent Marsden. Welcome to your first public council meeting. It's great to have you here, and also just want to send my compliments along to your members who participate at the Crime Prevention Task Group, along with your analysts as well. They have helped our committee at least target hotspots and tune our messaging, and I hope that relationship continues. One of the things I think is we're at a really good opportunity now in Langley City, especially what you were talking about later in regards to Black Lives Matter, systemic racism, and how we deliver policing services in Canada. And you coming in, I think it's we can have a fresh look at what that means for Langley City. If council does decide, we have a item for a policing strategy in our budget for next year as well. Just to see what the future of policing should be. And I think, as you alluded to, should police be responsible for absolutely everything? Are there ways in which we can better serve members of our community? So with that in mind, I guess the question I have for you is, are you willing to work with us on high-level strategic planning, hopefully in this fall, so we can start that process working and build that stronger relationship where it's not so much looking at crime stats as they change, right, depending on who's in town and what's going on, but just looking at those larger issues in our community and how we can tackle that together as a council and as a policing service together at that high level, and just sitting at the table and having meaningful dialogue where we're listening and incorporating each other's ideas.
Yes, no, 100%. I actually, I checked in to see what our detachment's strategic plan was, and I noticed we don't actually have one, but I think that was intentional that the councils had waited for me to get here, which I appreciate, and it made sense. So I actually believe I'm meeting you on Thursday at the session. So I'll be introduced to the group there. That's awesome that you run that. So I look forward to seeing what that does, and I see that as a great source of information, really, for me to provide service how I should be providing it. And so 100% about the strategic planning. I probably said it multiple times, but I honestly feel that I have about 3 bosses. I have the Rcmp, then I have my members here, and then I have the community. So if you're happy, I'm happy. So I definitely look forward to finding out what I need to do for you and working towards those goals.
Well, I look forward to that. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Great, thank you. I just have a quick question. Looking at those lockout auto crime numbers, which are up, where are we standing with the volunteers with the community police offices? Because technically they're the ones that used to go hand out the stuff that now our community volunteers are doing, which volunteers have been doing at the CPO for the last 20 plus years. So I think we really need to look at that and make sure that their resources are being used properly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm up on that yet, but that's something I'll have to check into and get back to you on.
Yeah, we've always had a really good communication progress with community policing in our downtown core, and they've always worked with all the organizations in the downtown area to provide information. as Councillor James was saying, the catalytic converter issues, yeah, that was about 13 years ago, and community policing members took care of that. So you might want to check with the CPS unit on that. And I know volunteers went out and provided information to the businesses on that. So there's no sense in reinventing the wheel, is the way I would look at it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we don't have any volunteers up and running yet, regular volunteers or auxiliaries?
I know that the auxiliary program is seems to be suspended, so I'm not really getting a lot of information about that at this time. We've sort of been told from our, my supervisor essentially that it's on hold for now, and I haven't really gotten much more information about that at this time. But in terms of volunteers, that might be a different ball game. So I'll have to check into that. Yeah.
Okay, that would be great if we can get an update on that.
Okay.
Thank you. Councillor Wallace, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and welcome, Constable Martin. I'm wondering if Mayor Val is referring to Get to Know Your Neighbor program, which has come out of that committee, and I have volunteered, and a number of councillors have volunteered with that as well, and I find it to be the resources that were in that package to be resources, and really created conversations with the community, stopping at, the doors of our community members, and it being very, very helpful. So I don't know if you've heard of that program. I'm pretty proud of the crime prevention task force. I don't know if it's a task force or committee, sorry, and the work they've done on that, and the involvement of the community volunteers as well. So I'm wondering, that's a question to, if that's what Mayor Val is referring to. And then also in regards to Councillor Pahal's comments around the strategic planning, I think is so important, especially with our delegation that was just before this, in regards to her concerns and valid concerns as well. And how do we build relationships with police officers and know that, it's safe to go up to them and work alongside them, and work as a community when it comes to safety, with the amount of social issues, the opioid crisis, the systemic racism, systemic trauma, the list goes on. It's been things that have been built up for so long, and things that we need to work on together. And as you alluded to with the partner groups that you are getting to know within the community that are valuable stakeholders. So I look forward to working together.
Thank you.
I'm going to respond to that. That wasn't a negative comment against our community task force. That was that we should all be working together, including the volunteers that we've had for over 20 years who know what they're doing, and you receive the information from to give out during the Good Neighbors campaign, is what I was saying. So nothing against the task force. They're doing a great job. And yeah, next time I'd love to have an invite about the Good Neighbors campaign, because I was the only one excluded in that. So thank you for bringing that up, Councillor Wallace.
Yeah, and excuse me, Mayor, it's not supposed to be a negative. It was just, I was wondering if you were referring to that. And I just had such a good experience with that program, and I see it's a task group, not a committee. So I look forward. I think it's so important in anything we do in this community, in working together with community police officers and council, and strategizing on ways that we can do things better, because some things have not been working. So, and sometimes we need to change the way we are doing things. So thank you.
Councillor Pahal, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I guess for a little bit of clarity for the, I think we're talking about the lockout crime. Like you said, that was the community volunteers through the CPO. And that was not, our task group never did do that because it was part of that group originally. So we were talking about looking into that just recently as of the last meeting, just because the volunteers weren't stood up yet. But our goal is to make sure that we are at least utilizing the RCMP resources whenever possible. I think the other thing just from the meeting was, block watch and getting that up and running again. So like the community task group doesn't do block watch. We can support them, but we talked about areas like in the Bryden neighborhood where there's a lot of new townhouses, and then we're just looking forward to those volunteer coordinators getting up and running again and getting those things up. So we're trying not to overlap because we don't want to duplicate. So just wanted to clarify that for everybody.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, and I believe you're coming back in a closed part, so we will let you go for now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for doing your first presentation.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully you will come back. Okay, we have mayor's report up next, upcoming meetings. We have a little bit of break, nothing in August, and our next regular council meeting will be September 13th, 2021. And the following one after that will be September 27th, 2021. And we now have a recreation update with Kim Hilton, our Director of Recreation, Culture, and Community Services.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can you see on my screen? Great. Okay, so this is the update for July 2021. Just a reminder that our outdoor pool is up and running. We are having lots of participation at the pool, and many of the lessons are full right through to this end of the summer, but it's always a great idea if you're interested in getting lessons to put your name on a wait list, because there is often some movement. People go away or don't progress to the level they think they're going to progress through or whatnot. So just a reminder, we do have the lessons. We have public swim, length swim, and aquafit. And they're all very popular, particularly with this increase in heat that's coming again. The pool was looking very inviting this afternoon when I was over there. So for more information, you can phone 604-514-2940, or you can go online at langleycity.ca and register or sign up for a swim. Our summer day camps are also in full swing, and we have a couple different camps running this summer. We have our regular Fantastic Adventure Day Camp that runs out of Douglas Recreation Center. We offer the before and after care as well. And in addition, to help accommodate extra spots, we've also offered the outdoor sports camp, and that's based in the Douglas Park as well. And that runs 9 to 3 daily, and registration is for the entire week. So for more information, you can phone 604-514-2865 and talk to lovely Michelle in the office, or you can phone 604-514-2940 and speak to one of the clerks that are here at Tim's Community Center. Again, the Healthy Living Bag is coming out again next Tuesday, so right after the long weekend. We have until Wednesday to sign up for that, but we do offer it the first Tuesday of every month. So you'll see it September 7th, October 5th, November 2nd, and so on. It's a great program. It's $5 and it's open to everyone or anyone. So for more information or to register, you can phone 604-514-2940. Happily, I can say that we have, I love this LC hashtag LC Live, because we didn't see that at all last year, but it's coming back on the City Summer Beat. So that's Saturday, August the 14th. And it is in partnership with the DLBA and Langley City, and it's going to be in Douglas Park. So from 12 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, August the 14th, come on down and watch our website for more information. Also, we have lots of exciting things happening. We have the temporary food trucks. So it's a temporary policy that we've brought forth in our Langley City Parks. We have 2 different licensed food trucks that have been approved so far. One is Match on the Move, and the other one is called Out for Lunch. And Tara, our special event supervisor, has put all the information up on our website so you can see where they are located, what their menus are, and you can pick your park and day and time and come on down and support the local food trucks. So you can check out langleycity.ca to find out the schedule. And finally, Movie in the Park is coming August the 20th, Douglas Park at 8:30 p.m. I don't know what the movie is. I'm not sure if Tara's even picked it yet, but that is our first day back in the park. So we're welcoming everyone back. Pop Up and Play has been very popular this summer, and you can see from the rotation, we're hitting several different parks. So Tuesday, so tomorrow, we're at Bryden Park in the late morning. Then on Wednesdays, we're at Douglas Park in the afternoon. Thursday mornings, we're at Rotary Park. Fridays, Nicholas Park, and then back to Douglas Park on Saturdays. We have people, our faithful followers, that move from park to park to park, which is excellent. It's a great opportunity for families to get out and have some fun, and it's free. And our staff are out there and they're interacting with the participants, doing the games, the crafts, the sports. It's a lot of fun. Pop Up and Play, free family fun. Some programs coming out for September as we move to our step 4, Active Age is back. So that's group fitness. And it runs September 18th to December 4th. It is a free program. It is geared for people 65 years and plus who are inactive currently. It's really trying to get them back involved, engaged, and moving more. Space is limited, so you do need to register sooner than later. And I would say phone 604-514-2940 and speak to one of our reception staff at the front counter here. So that's Active Age. We also have chair yoga, and the next session starts on August the 9th, which is a Monday, 12:15 to 3. It's a great way to de-stress, relax, work in that deep breathing, connecting with yourself, and increasing your strength and flexibility. So that's 4 sessions, and you can phone 604-514-2940. Choose to Move is another individual activity training program, and it runs for the duration of the fall, September 18th to December 4th at Tim's Community Center. Again, it's free, space is limited. So again, this is 65 and older, trying to get more physically active. So if you're interested, please phone 604-514-2940. It's really great to see individuals coming to these programs, becoming more engaged even in our community center and getting more active. They start popping up in pickleball and things like that. So it's good to see. Fit for Life is a group fitness class. It runs Tuesdays and Thursdays, starting August the 10th for an hour in the mornings. For more information or to register, you can phone 604-514-2940. And then gentle yoga. So this is a step up from the chair yoga, but again, great opportunity to stretch and breathe and connect. Mondays, 3:30 to 4:30, starting August the 9th at Tim's Community Center here. And I tell you, this Girls in Sport program has been phenomenal. And as you can see, this is actually a photo of some of the participants. And you might be able to identify that school as HD Stafford Middle School, and you'd be correct with that. We have some great leaders there, and we have a different camp running every week. And this is really geared for people identifying as females for grades 6, 7, and 8, as in September. And they're active, they go to the pool, they do hikes and that sort of thing. So we have different groups coming in to show them how to do parkour, for instance. So it's quite a variety of activities that they're doing. And there's still room. It's $25 the cost per week. That we are running this on a grant that we received from Canadian Tire Jumpstart. So to register, you can phone 604-514-2940. And then Taryn, our youth programmer, has a variety of programs running all week long, every week this summer. And so you can see some of the smattering of opportunities and some of the actual artwork that's been completed out in the park this past week. So we have art in the park, we have open gyms, which are always really popular, youth lounge, teen time, and of course, youth night on Saturdays, which is just exploding. So that's great. And that is my presentation for today. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you for that wonderful presentation as always, Ms. Hilton. Questions or comments from staff or council? Lucini? All right, well, thank you. Oh, raised hand, there we go. Sorry, your hand blends in with the flowers there, Councilor Sturgeon, so go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Ms. Hilton, for your report. Always very exciting. Lots of good stuff going on. Really thrilled to see how things are opening up and how you and your team have managed to walk us through these uncertain times. So we're going into stage 4. Is that the final stage of this process?
Step 4, yes, Madam Mayor, through to Councillor Stortebooms. Yeah, in September 7th will be the start of our step 4. We are, as of Monday or Tuesday coming up, moving back towards the drop-in weight room. So it's no longer, it will not be pre-registered. We don't have to keep track of individuals. There won't be limitations in the weight room. People can come and work out as long as they want to. So this is kind of exciting. This is a big step.
Yeah.
That starts on Tuesday. And then our staff, supervisor staff are busy programming for the fall, looking, really for regular programming to resume with the rentals and all that sort of thing. So we're quite excited what September is going to be holding for us.
Oh, it's very exciting. And then in September with stage 4, we open up the meeting rooms upstairs and the walking track. Is that correct?
The walking track will actually be opening up on Tuesday as well.
How very exciting.
Yes.
I think a lot of people have been waiting for that. And I think it'd be great for people to enjoy that during the summer heat because it's an air conditioned climate there. Thank you again for your report and again for all your hard work. My best wishes to you and your staff. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for hearing me out.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, I guess that is it. Thank you very much, Ms. Hilton. Okay, Discover
I
Langley.
had my hand up, Val.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know
see
what
it.
happened, but
Go ahead.
Kim, for next week, do you still have to register to go to the pool or can you just drop in?
And registration will be ongoing for fitness classes, length swimming, public swim, and aquafit. Yes.
So no drop in for public swim.
No drop in. Unfortunately, we just don't have the staffing capacity to go beyond 140 people. So we'd rather have people pre-register and rather than show up to the pool and be disappointed because they can't get in.
Do you have any idea if you're allotted 140 people, are we at max or what's happening?
Are we reaching the 140 people?
Yeah, are we reaching the 140 or no?
Not always, no.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Councillor Sturtevant, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. One more thing. Recently, we had something called a heat dome. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. And there were a lot of questions around how we were able to respond to protect, especially our seniors and those who are vulnerable during this time. I was wondering, Ms. Hilton, if you could just advise us with regard to what services are ongoing associated with cooling centers to help those who are distressed by the temperature in their homes and may not have air conditioning. I know that we've got a lot of service providers in the community who are doing their best to help as well, but I believe there are special services available at Tim's, maybe Douglas. If you could remind us of that, I'd certainly appreciate it.
Well, certainly our Tim's Community Center and Langley Library are open to the public, and you don't have to pre-register or anything. You can just come down and enjoy the air-conditioned facility. We do have some water that was provided by the fire department, so we have that on tap as well for people during another heat wave if we need it. We were connecting with a variety of seniors groups, and they were doing some phone trees to connect and check in on our seniors and some of the people that live on their own. And we're working with Langley Meals on Wheels as part of that group of individuals. They will check in on people, particularly ones that they are serving meals to make sure that they're okay.
That's excellent. Thank you very much. And yeah, thanks again to the team. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
We did extend also the water park so that people who are, could enjoy the coolness of the water if they wanted to, longer hours.
Yeah, that would be great, but you don't want to see me in a bathing suit. I'm telling you that right now. Thank you.
Councillor Wallace, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just in regards to the city event partnered with the Downtown Business Association, in regards to the LC Live, the concert event, in regards to COVID and the pandemic and the numbers, where do we lie with the registration, or is it open? It's advertised. It's just that we've been through, that confusion as we're moving through these stages, and just to assure the public in regards of how that's going to work.
Thank you through Madam Mayor to Councillor Wallace. It is an outdoor event. There isn't any pre-registration required. I don't know that we'd meet the 5,000 people capacity. That's max. I'd be impressed, but yeah, so it's outdoors and people have the opportunity, if they wish, to wear masks, that's totally up to them. And they have the ability to move around and move away from people if they're uncomfortable with individuals, so they can isolate. The park's pretty big, so they'll be able to hear and enjoy the music and entertainment no matter where they are in the park.
Just to follow up, Madam Mayor, it's really exciting to see this come to fruition, and I know that people are dying for entertainment and music and coming together. So I'm really excited about this event on August 14th. So thank you.
We'll see you down there dancing.
Okay, second time a charm? No one else? Okay, thanks, Ms. Hilton. Okay, Councillor Albrecht, Discover Langley City.
Yes, thank you. And you have the report in your package, but I just wanted to touch on a couple of items. If nobody can, if there's any difficulty hearing me, just wave or something, and I'll interrupt, and Councillor Storgoon can take over. I'm at a location where my internet is a little wonky. Anyways, administration, the MRDT annual performance report was submitted successfully, and the DLC is responsible for preparing this report, which has been submitted to Langley City for approval, who then forwarded it to Destination BC. The first two summer students have started at the beginning of June, and looking forward to a thrilling and busy summer with the COVID relaxations. We're hopeful that things are going to be picking up and getting back on track. The DLC has taken advantage of the Be Safe training. It's an online health and safety program for individuals and businesses in BC's tourism and hospitality industry. And it covers about 5 different models with a variety of topics to give foundational understanding of COVID-19 health and safety protocols, as well as tips on handling non-compliance. We have a content production grant from Destination BC. This initiative will support small to medium-sized CDMOs in creating content to better reflect COVID-19 protocols and showcase COVID-19 friendly businesses and attractions, resulting in visual assets that can be used immediately in recovery marketing efforts in the summer and fall of 2021. In addition, Destination BC has identified specific need areas based on provincial summer recovery campaign, as well as gaps identified in BC Content Hub collection. DLC was successful in receiving $7,500 in funding to create these visual assets based on the following 3 criteria: diversity, equity, and inclusion, dining and craft beer and wine, and then thirdly, guided outdoor adventure and outdoor attractions. Marketing, we have the Langley City Hungry Guide and the Discover Guide that have been updated and refreshed for 2021. New bold covers will grab your attention and give you the inspiration to pick them up and read them to discover so many great activities and restaurants in our Langley City. The guides can be found in hotels in Langley City and surrounding areas, as well as a library, city hall, and select restaurants in the downtown area. These digital guides are also available on the website. Website update has been updated with new information and has been verified in checking the listings for restaurants, shops, and attractions, just to make sure that everything are connected, verified addresses, phone numbers, and the website. There's a number of video productions that the DLC is delighted to launch, 7 in total, to promote key assets in Langley City. These videos will be rolled out on social media channels and the DLC website. Discover Langley City YouTube channel is hosting the videos, and you are encouraged to subscribe so you never miss an upload. The infamous and popular prize wheel is going to be starting up. Well, it already has, but we'll continue to start it up at the Visitor Center this summer at DLC. Has been working with local partners to provide prizes to be won by spinning the prize wheel. And these include free ice cream, recreation passes, pastries, and discount coupons. It's a great way to draw people in to provide our guides and information on local attractions and events. It's very popular. There was a Father's Day giveaway, and it was a smashing success for the DLC and bringing some attention to small businesses in our city. It had sponsors and gift certificates from Farm Country Brewing, Exit Langley, IHOP Langley, the Fast Track Indoor Kart Tracking, and of course there was also downtown dollars available. And that is going to be my report. There's a number of stats. You can review those in your council package, and that is my report. Thank you.
I just have one question, Councillor Albrecht. On page 23, it shows the page views. Do you have it up?
Yeah, I have actually a printed copy, so I'm not sure if I'm looking.
Okay, so it says, what pages do your users visit?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, what is the blank? Like, everything else seems to be covered, but what is the blank with 280?
You know what? No, actually, I do not. I didn't pick up on that, to tell you the honest truth.
It just looks like everything else is covered, but then there's a empty one. So I'm wondering if it's just like miscellaneous or people just didn't put in an answer.
Yeah, you know what? I would have to check, and I can get back to council on what that is.
Okay, awesome. I was just wondering why there was a blank space that's all with a number.
Yeah, no, it's quite weird. So I'm thinking there must have been some kind of mistake in the reporting. There's got to be something in there, but I'm not sure, and I don't.
It's no big deal. I was just curious. That's all.
Okay.
Just let me know whenever.
I'll check and get back.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay, thank you for that report. All right.
Madam Mayor, I think Councillor Soderboom and I.
Your little hands are blending in with your colors today. Let me just see here. Councillor Soderboom was first, and then Councillor Pahal after, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Albrecht, for your very comprehensive report. As always, I wanted you to know that it came through loud and clear. And I wanted to ask you, for the Father's Day giveaway, how many fathers did they give away that day?
Excellent question. I do not have an answer. I can follow up with that as well. I know the one, there was 4 passes for Exit Langley, so I'm assuming, but again, I will confirm the number of Father's Day Father Day prizes that were given out.
Thank you again for your report. I look forward to your follow-up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Pahal, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think I can answer your question, and then Councillor Albrecht doesn't have to go and hunt for it. It's the homepage, so it's not actually missing information. It's just the top page. So when you look at those sorts of statistics, it's just like Discover Langley City before you actually start hitting any of the subpages.
So other.
It's the main. It's the main
other
page.
Website. Other. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's like the main landing page. That's what that one is. So that's the first page you see. Yeah.
Okay. So that how many people actually went to that webpage?
Yeah, the front page.
Thank you.
Cool.
Okay. Was that it? Was that? Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Awesome. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you for your report, Councillor Albrecht. Moving on to bylaws. Okay, 6A, bylaw 3161, road closure bylaw, first, second, and third reading of a bylaw to close and remove the dedication of a portion of highway located between 5500 and 5510 Bryden Crescent. And I believe Mr. Chung, you wish to speak to the purpose of this bylaw. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The proposed bylaw is to close off a portion of the laneway between 5500, 5510 Biden Crescent. And the purpose of the road closure is to facilitate the consolidation of the lane with the adjacent lots for the purpose of redevelopment. Staff has reviewed this proposal to close off the lane, and there is no issue to close off the lane. So it's a surplus lane. So staff supports the road closure to facilitate the redevelopment. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that. So the motion is that the bylaw cited as the road closure bylaw number 3161, 2021 be read a first, second, and third time. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Sturdivant, Councillor Wallace, any question or discussion on that? See none, call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Okay, on to bylaw 3173, zoning bylaw amendment RZ 04-21 and development permit number DP 05-21. Third reading of a bylaw to rezone the properties located at 19665 and 19669 55A Avenue from the RS1 single family residential zone to the CD 75 comprehensive development zone to accommodate a 15-unit townhouse development. And I believe Mr. Johansson, you'd like to speak to the bylaw. Go ahead.
Thank you and good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Just a brief update to inform Council that in response to a request that was made prior to the public hearing from a council member to update the street view rendering, this artistic rendering has now been updated to show the parking spot along 55A Avenue as that parking spot is shown in the architectural plans presented at the public hearing. And that's just on page 63 of your package, the updated rendering. This update was missed for the public hearing, but since it was requested prior to the public hearing, it isn't considered new information and no changes have been made to the architectural and landscape plans presented at the public hearing. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that update. Appreciate it. Always makes things easier when we have the most current information, so thank you. Any more comments on that? I'm going to read the motion that the bylaw cited as zoning bylaw 1996, number 2100, amendment number 176, 2021, number 3173 be read a third time. Any further discussion or questions on that? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor, any opposed? That carries. All right, explanatory report, proposed updates to official community plan bylaw number 3200. And I believe Mr. Johansson, you'd like to speak to the purpose of this report as well. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon once again, Mayor and Council. Thanks for having us here to present an updated OCP bylaw number 3200 for Council's consideration of third reading. And we also have Patrick here today with us from Modus, our consultant. So following Council's direction from the July 12th Council meeting, the updated bylaw now includes all the updates listed in Table 2 that was attached to the report presented at the July 12th Council meeting. And we've also attached those Tables 1 and 2 to the report that's on today's agenda. And the updated bylaw number 3200 also includes a series of proposed text and map updates based on further technical legal review. And these are listed in the attached Table 3. So key text and map updates include policy updates to improve clarity and flexibility, updates to map 11 to identify our existing school sites, corrections to map 3 to show existing conditions. There's a couple of parks there that are shown, pre-existing parks, and also updates to select development permit guidelines to enhance purpose and justification language and to improve clarity. These minor changes will enhance the clarity and usability of the new OCP and are not considered new information following the public hearing on this bylaw. So staff support the inclusion of the proposed updates as listed in Table 2 and Table 3 and present an updated OCP bylaw number 3200 for council for consideration of third reading. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johansson. So the motion is that council receive this report as information. Need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Paul, Councillor Sturdivant, any discussion? Seeing none, call the vote. All those in favor, any opposed? Carries. All right, bylaw 3200, official community plan bylaw. Third reading of a bylaw to adopt an official community plan that the bylaw cited as the official community plan bylaw 2021, number 3200, be read a third time as amended. Need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Sturtevant, Councillor Pahal, any discussion on this? The changes have been made from the previous and updated, so I will call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. All right, OCP bylaw number 3200, regional context statement approval process. And Mr. Johansson, you are up again, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is the next step in the OCP process, is to refer the regional context statement, or RCS, in the OCP to the Metro Vancouver Board for consideration of acceptance. Once the board accepts the RCS, council can then consider adoption of the OCP bylaw 3200. The next anticipated board meeting where the board can consider the RCS is October 29th. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. All right, motion is that the proposed regional context statement contained in City of Langley Official Community Plan Bylaw 2021, number 3200, be submitted to the Metro Vancouver Regional District Board for acceptance in accordance with Section 4481A of the Local Government Act. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Pahal, Councillor Sturtevant, any further discussion on that? Councillor Pahal, is that a hand up? Okay, go ahead, and then Councillor Sturtevant after.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and Mayor through staff. I know as we're submitting this to Metro Vancouver now, we're proposing removing some land from mixed employment and adding land to mixed employment. Could you confirm, are we adding more land to mixed employment, which I totally support? And have you received any sort of preliminary sort of discussions from Metro Vancouver if they're supportive of that swap? Or are we kind of just waiting to see what will happen now?
Yes, through the mayor to Councillor Pahal, definitely is an increase in mixed employment land, and we haven't heard any concerns with that from Metro staff. They will be providing an updated report to the board as part of their analysis, but we haven't heard any concerns from staff on that.
And if I may follow up, Madam Mayor, if there were a concern, would the Metro Vancouver staff generally bring that up beforehand?
Through the mayor to Councillor Pahal, yes, they would. And I would say that, you know, like I said, no concerns. And I think I would say in general, Metro Vancouver is always happy to see an increase in mixed employment where possible. And in our case, with the City of Langley, we're in a good position to add to our employment generating land. We have a lot of service commercial lands that can also host industrial uses into the future. So we're pretty confident that it's going to be supported.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Great, thank you. Councillor Sturtevant, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Johansson, Mr. Ostrick, for attending, for all the hard work that you've done. I think Councillor Pahal's question kind of touched on my first question, and that was around how Metro Vancouver has been responding. It's my understanding that this particular item is sort of a housekeeping, that Metro Vancouver has been working with us, and it's a part of the process, but we're not expecting anything significant other than an affirmation of the work that's already been looked at and approved. Is that correct?
Yes, through the mayor to Councillor Sturtevant, we've referred the draft regional context statement as part of the draft OCP to Metro Vancouver in an unofficial referral back earlier this year, and then of course with the official referral with the bylaw. And we're pretty confident that the regional context statement is what Metro Vancouver is expecting. So we've been in constant communication with them on this, and we definitely want to make sure that whatever we're sending to the board is something that's going to be supported.
Thank you very much. So basically, this goes to the board of directors. They review and approve, And is that like a two-step process? Do they have any public hearings at that level? Anything like that?
Yes, the mayor to Councillor Storterboom. First step is that it goes through the staff analysis and then to the regional planning committee. And then the report goes to with recommendations to the board, and then it's a board vote. There's no public hearing.
Thank you very much. I really do. I appreciate that. I do have another question, which is a bit of an aside, and that is with regard to our comprehensive development zones here in the city of Langley. We've got a lot of them. I mean, like at last count, we've got, over 70 or so. So when this new OCP kicks in, do those comprehensive development zones stay as comprehensive development zones, or do they fall into a larger catch basin associated with designation from the new OCP?
Yes, through the mayor to Councillor Storterboom. The OCP itself doesn't change the comprehensive development zones, but there still is alignment between those zones and the land use. But ultimately, the next step is to bring forward a draft zoning bylaw. And the intent is there with the new zones in the draft zoning bylaw, which of course would be supported by the OCP, would be to look at almost all, if not all, comprehensive zones and align those with the new zoning bylaw.
Thank you very much. I can appreciate making it a little bit simpler. And again, I appreciate the hard work that you and Mr. Ostrick and your team have been doing. It's a wonderful plan, looking forward to the future. And I'm excited for the city of Langley to implement it. Thank you very much. And thank you, Madam Mayor.
Great, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. And we're on our way. All right, 20689 and 20699 Eastleigh Crescent, bylaw 3146, official community plan amendment number 11, final reading of a bylaw to amend City of Langley official community plan bylaw 2005, number 2600, 20689 and 20699 Eastleigh Crescent. Motion is that the bylaw cited as City of Langley official community plan bylaw 2005, number 2600, amendment number 11, 2020, number 3146 be read a final time. Need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Storterboom, Councillor Albrecht, any further discussion? Seeing none, call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Bylaw 3147, zoning amendment RZ 03-20, development permit number 05-20, final reading of a bylaw to rezone properties located at 20689 and 20699 Eastleigh Crescent from RM1 multiple residential low density zone to CD71 comprehensive development zone to accommodate a 6-story 88-unit apartment development. Motion forward is that the bylaw cited as zoning bylaw 1996, number 2100, amendment number 171, 2020, number 3147 be read a final time. Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Storterboom, Councillor Pahal, any discussion on that? Don't see any hands. Call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Next one, development permit application DP 05-20. I believe Mr. Johansson, you'd like to speak to this development permit application.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for having me speak once again, but I just want to make council aware that prior to consideration of the development permit application, there was a need for a minor design revision along the Eastleigh Crescent frontage. It is a minor revision, but given that it's on the street, it's something that is noticeable. And unfortunately, there was an error made in the calculation of the flood construction level, or FCL, for this site. It's a little bit of a challenging area, being in the potential flood area for Logan Creek. And as council knows, habitable floors are required to be above the flood construction level. So the ground floor of the first floor units and the floor of the entrance lobby need to be raised about 1.7 meters higher than shown in the previously presented DB drawings. So I included an explanatory memo in the agenda that walks through that, but the change doesn't affect or change the maximum height of the proposed building or any of the other zoning such as density, setbacks, and parking. So originally those first floor units were actually double height, and now the floor is just coming up because that habitable floor has to be above the flooded construction level. So it does mean that there's going to be a wall structure along the easterly frontage, but we've worked with the applicant to face that with decorative brick and concrete work with reveal lines. And we provide an update to the advisory design panel on that, and they provided no comments on that. This change does necessitate an update to development permit, which of course is in front of council right now. But these are considered not considered new information and just a form and character item that needs to be included. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Councillor Storteboom, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Mrs. Johansson, for this update. Usually our development permit applications move through a little more quickly. We're very proud of that here in the city of Langley, I might add. But this one had some unique challenges, and you were able to work with the developer to make the changes as required and save the project at the end of the day. I also want to thank you for updating the advisory design panel. I think that it's really important that the team knows that their input is appreciated and that the changes that are made are in keeping with the expectations they've been led to believe. So on behalf of the design panel, I want to thank you for that. But thank you also for the hard work that you've done in matching this developer with this site, making adjustments as required, working through the design advisory panel's recommendations and coming up with what will still look like a tremendous building at a gateway property for our downtown city center. So thank you very much. I think you've done a great job for us. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Albrecht, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, I just wanted to pass a compliment on to Mr. Johansson, your staff, all of your staff, and your ability to pivot quickly and bring quality development into our community, and the ability to work with the development industry to get the types of housing to meet our community needs and those pressures for housing in our community and for our residents. So thank you so much for you and your staff's hard work.
Okay, great. Motion is that development permit application number 05-20 for a 6-story 88-unit apartment development at 20689 and 20699 Eastleigh Crescent be approved. We're in a seconder, Councillor Albrecht, Councillor Storteboom. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. All right, on to administrative reports. We have a proposed road marking and speed bump inspection policy. Motion is that policies CO-69 and CO-70 for road marking inspection and speed bump inspection are improved. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Albrecht, Councillor Storteboom. Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Pahal.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The question to staff. So would that mean that staff would be going through and looking at things like if there's the yellow lines are faded on the road kind of thing? Or is this more for like left turn indicators and that sort of stuff and stop lines?
Yes, through the mayor to Councillor Hall, the It would be an inspection of all of the road markings, so including the yellow lines, including the white dashed lines, and checking it each year. Some of the lines are called thermoplastic, so they will last numerous years, like 3 to 5 years, where the painted lines will fade a little bit quicker. So, and generally we do those every year. We do repaint them. So we don't expect that there's going to be a lot of maintenance related to this. It's more just a procedural and policy that this is how we maintain things. And that if there are any claims or issues going forward, that would be defensible in a lawsuit situation.
And if I can just follow up then, so you're expecting no additional staff resources would be required to complete this annual inspection?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Okay, approval of the Econ Board of Directors designates for 2021 to 2022 term. One, that council approves City of White Rock's chosen representative as a designate for election to the Econ Board of Directors for the 2021 to 2022 term. And two, that council approves City of Surrey's chosen representative as a designate for election to the Econ Board of Directors for the 2021-2022 term. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Martin, Councillor Stortaboom, any discussion? Seeing none, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I realize this is a housekeeping issue. I can't but be curious who these designated individuals are. Is that not yet known, or will that be made available to us in the future?
I can answer that, Madam Mayor.
Mr. Chung, can you please answer?
I'm sorry.
Councillor Martin can answer that question.
Yes, thank you. In speaking with the board chair, at the time, he did not know who the designate was, but I did suggest to him that they let us know as soon as possible because the AGM had to be changed and it's going to be in September to let the person know. So, and I do believe that Econ sent a letter to White Rock in that regard. So we will know certainly by the AGM.
Thank you very much for your reply. And thank you, Madam Mayor.
My understanding is that White Rock has it before their council tonight in their meeting. So that was my understanding. Okay, any other clarification on that needed? That's good. Okay, call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. On to C, Municipal Asset Management Program Funding Grant Application, that a grant application be submitted under the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Municipal Asset Management Program for the Optimized Water and Wastewater Asset Management. One, that council agrees to commit staff to undertake the work proposed in the application and supports the Optimized Water and Wastewater Asset Management Program. And two, that the city commits to pay its share of the $50,000 from its 2021 Capital Works Reserve towards the Optimized Water and Wastewater Asset Management Project. Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Wallace, Councillor Albrecht, any discussion on that? Councillor Albrecht, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. And I just want to say that programs like this, I think, are extremely valuable. We're always talking about our assets and being able to manage them and predict their life cycles and the replacement of them. This is a proactive measure to help us have a better understanding of our assets and their end of life expectations. So this will help us firm up our plans for replacement and any upgrades that are required as we move forward. So I'm totally supportive of this. And yeah, I'm hopeful that everyone on council is the same. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Councillor Stortaboom, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And yeah, I'd like to thank staff for making this application. I'm surprised if we don't have some sort of program in place already. I guess my question is that in the event we are not successful in this grant being awarded to us, do we have something that we are working with to be sure that we are protecting and managing our assets as effectively, efficiently as possible?
Through the mayor to Councillor Storteville. Yes, we definitely have our own asset management plan, and we do optimize our replacement of infrastructure as required. But the advantage of this grant program is to combine our asset information with a number of other communities. Obviously, we're a smaller community, so our data isn't necessarily exhaustive. So by sharing it with others, we combine that knowledge that we gain from other pipe infrastructure of similar vintage, type of material, etc. So we're just gaining from that information through this program. But we definitely have our own replacement program that we replace our infrastructure, and we're reporting back on a more regular basis now to council, showing what the value of all those assets are, and what the needs are going forward as far as the amount of budget that's required to be replacing all of the infrastructure that we have.
Okay, so my understanding, if I could follow up, is that if we win the grant application, we will have a tool that is more collaborative and comprehensive moving forward. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baumhoff, and thank you, Madam Mayor.
Great, thank you. Any further discussion on that? Okay, call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. All right, so new and unfinished business. First up is a motion that was brought forward last council by Councillor Martin, improvement to pre-hospital care system. Go ahead.
Thank you. You may or may not have noticed that it has changed since the last meeting. Mr. Chung and I did rework it, given that Mr. Dix made an announcement shortly after the motion was put forward to council. So I'll read it out. Whereas local governments have been raising concerns of long delays with ambulance response time and first responders responding to increasing number of medical emergency service alarms calls due to lack of inadequate number of ambulances being available. Whereas the recent heat wave exacerbated the shortcoming of the pre-hospital care system, which created unacceptable delays in ambulance response time. Whereas first responders had to respond to extraordinary number of medical emergency calls during the recent heat wave and endured unreasonable delays in response time by the ambulance to release them from the calls. Whereas first responders play an essential role in the pre-hospital care system in supporting BC Health Services with the delivery of a quick as possible response to patients requiring time-critical care. Whereas the Auditor General of British Columbia's report published in February 2019 on access to emergency health services provided recommendations to transformational changes to the pre-hospital care system. Whereas Health Minister Adrian Dix announced on July the 14th to improve ambulance response time by providing funding for 85 new full-time paramedics, 30 full-time dispatchers, 22 new ambulances, and converting 22 rural ambulance stations to 24/7 Alpha stations. Therefore, be it resolved that the province of BC and the BC Emergency Health Services immediately allocate the funding to improve ambulance response time and to improve coordination with fire departments to support consistent application of medical standards, information sharing and integrated dispatch system, and improvements to patient care is recommended in the Auditor General's report. I'm sorry. I can't read the top line of it's anyways, whereas it's blocked here. The cost recovery in order to achieve the goal that this motion be forwarded to Premier John Horgan, Minister Adrian Dix, Minister of Health, Susan Wanamaker, Executive Vice President, Clinical Service Delivery, Provincial Health Services Authority, and all municipalities in BC. And that is the motion. Thank you.
Councillor Wallace, second it. Go ahead. Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor. Sorry, Councillor Wallace had her hand up first, and then Councillor Paul, you can go after, please.
Through the mayor to Councillor Martin, I just want to thank you for bringing this very important, essential motion forward. The amount of lives that are being jeopardized or lost because of this is extensive, and it is something that immediate. So thank you.
Councillor Pahal.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through you to Councillor Martin. Thank you again for bringing this motion forward. I will be supporting it. I know the audio was a little cut off, so I believe that it's important that we do treat our first responders as equal and integral partners. And I think equally important is that cost recovery. And I know that's something that this council has been asking for since before my time. I'm sure for ages we've been asking for this. And the system, we need to, I think the provincial government needs to acknowledge that we have a fire service and an ambulance service, and both of them need to collaborate. I don't think it would work if we said our first responders or fire service doesn't respond to medical calls. That wouldn't work. So I'm hoping that given the unfortunate tragedy, which was entirely preventable, because this was due to an underfunded system that resulted in the loss of hundreds of lives, that they're going to take this seriously and treat our first responders with respect, and also treat municipalities with respect, and hopefully work with us so we could have a cost recovery to ensure that all people in British Columbia have access to adequate pre-hospital care. So thank you again, Councillor Martin.
Councillor Sturtevant, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and my compliments to Councillor Martin for bringing this forward. I think that it's something we've all been thinking for a good long time, but once you put it into words, apparently the provincial government responded so promptly that it caught us off guard. As soon as you made your notice of motion, the next day they made an announcement. I think it's important that we stay on top of this, because as my previous speakers, Councillors Wallace and Pahal, have said, that this is a matter of saving lives. And I believe that the ambulance services, the paramedics in particular, haven't necessarily been given the funding or the respect that they deserve to do the best job that they can. I'm sure that they've been frustrated for a very, very long time, and we owe them an appreciation for the service that they do. So I look forward to seeing how this plays out, because I think that we should commit ourselves to following through on this as a council. And thank you for bringing it forward. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Great, thank you. Yeah, it's a great motion, and one that we've been working at UBCM for the last year. So trying to get all the resources, because our community is different from other communities, but it all has to be addressed. We have to do better, absolutely. So hopefully they'll get our letter and get on board, and all the other municipalities as well. So thank you for bringing that forward. Any further discussion on that?
Well, I don't know if you can't see my hand or not, but.
No, sorry, I missed it. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you for the comments. On my agenda, the top part of the further resolve was blocked, so I went somewhere else. And I just want to reiterate that it says, be it further resolved that Minister Dix take concrete actions to treat first responders as an equal and an integral partner of the pre-hospital care system with adequate support for an example, training and resources, cost recovery in order to achieve the goal. And then, of course, the rest I read out in regards to, and hopefully when this is sent to all municipalities, they too will pick up on this and send letters to their MLAs and what have you. So perhaps I could add that we send this to our MLA. If that's a friendly amendment, send it to our MLA.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Thanks, Councillor Martin. Councillor Wallace, were you nodding in agreement, or did you want to speak to that? Nodding in agreement. Okay, that's what I thought. Everybody was nodding. I just caught you out of the corner of my eye. So, all right, we will call the vote. All those in favor? I'm sure none are opposed. And that carries. Okay, so on to new business. Motion to hold the closed meeting. Motion is that the council meeting immediately following this meeting be closed to the public as the subject matter being considered relates to items which comply with the following closed meeting criteria specified in section 90 of the community charter. 1, a part of council meeting may be closed to the public if the subject matter being considered relates to or is one or more of the following. C, labor relations or other employee relations. E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements. If the council considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality. And L, discussions with municipal officers and employees respecting municipal objectives, measures, and progress reports for the purposes of preparing an annual report under section 98, annual municipal report. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Wallace, Councillor Sturtevant. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That carries. Motion that the meeting adjourn, and need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Wallace, Councillor Sturtevant. All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Wonderful. We are going to go into a closed council meeting. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful summer. Make sure you get your first or second vaccination. Get up to date on that, and be safe out there. And yeah. All right. Have a great
Stay
summer.
safe. Be well.
Be kind.